Elliot Page has a memoir out. He recounts in this book his experiences in Hollywood. He recounts coming out as a lesbian at first and then finally as a guy. And this is very upsetting for Tim Pool. If there's one thing that Tim Pool hates more than gay people or trans people, it's books. I once heard a story about someone gifting Tim Pool with a hardcover edition of Mario Puzo's The Godfather, and Tim got very upset when he couldn't fit it into his DVD player.
We have this story. Elliot Page reveals chilling transphobic attack outside LA hotel.
If I were to take an AI replica of Tim Pool's voice, it would sound much more human than Tim Pool's actual voice. I can picture removing that beanie off of his head and finding all sorts of wires and doodads and a switch that's set to dumb.
Quote, I'm going to effing gay bash you, and then homophobic slur. And then the guy apparently in the most prominent gay neighborhood, probably in the country, of...
You know, I was once gay bashed, and I'm not even gay. I'm serious.
Which is West Hollywood in Los Angeles. Well, maybe San Francisco got more prominent.
Yeah, Castro District, San Francisco.
Yeah, but LA, West Hollywood is one of the most prominent gay neighborhoods in the country. This is where Elliot Page was. And then after this person said this, followed Elliot Page into a store called Pink Dot and then said, this is why I need a gun. And it's amazing. I can't believe it. This story coming out on the same day that Elliot Page has released their new book.
Yeah, that's not at all amazing or surprising because it's literally an excerpt from the book. See, when a book is reviewed, they put quotations, excerpts of the book. And then if it's a celebrity, other outlets pick up those excerpts and make headlines out of them. That's why there's multiple outlets with multiple different outlines from multiple stories from this book, from the same book. Tim specifically picked this one, and he titled this video, Elliot Page Slammed for Insane Jussie Smollett Story, Gets Accused of Hoax to Promote Book. Of course, he's leaving out the part that he's the one slamming Elliot Page, and that he's the one accusing Elliot Page. The reason why Tim has chosen this particular excerpt to exploit is he's attempting to give the impression that this is not an excerpt from the book, that this is some sort of press release. By comparing it to Jussie Smollett, he's claiming that this story is somehow a false police report that's being used to promote a book. Because Tim is a liar. Tim is a stochastic terrorist who's attempting to give his followers the impression that actual violence against gay and trans people isn't real, that it's all a hoax.
So, nobody believes the story. I mean, come on. So
I totally believe the story. It sounds totally believable. A homophobe totally would use the term, I'm going to gay bash. You know, this is a phrase that people use specifically against their perceived enemies. That's the language their perceived enemies use, and they use that language in an attempt to incite fear in them. Now, we all know this happens. I know for a fact this happens because years ago, I was at a nightclub with a friend of mine who just broken up with his girlfriend, and he was feeling bad, and we got drunk. And I went out onto the dance floor, and I started dry humping him and riding his hips and grabbing his ponytail and dancing. And the whole time I had this softball shirt that I bought from a thrift store, and it had the name Prissy on the back, which I wore because I thought it was funny. And some guy found me on the parking lot, called me an F-slur, and knocked me out. I was out cold for a full minute. He ran away like a coward, which is what right-wingers often do when they attack people. They hit them and run away. That happened to me recently in a parking lot by a fascist who pretends to be a comedian. He sucker punched me from behind and then ran away. Happens all the time. And for years afterwards, well, for 1 year afterwards, I would use that story as an attempt to pick up women. I would still be wearing that shirt, and I would say, hey, you know, I got gay bashed for wearing this shirt. It worked.
So a guy was walking around Los Angeles in literally the boys' town of Los Angeles and was shocked and outraged to see someone who he assumed was gay. And
Also,
then specifically said gay bash. And then, this is why I need a gun. Like,
bad fan fiction.
It's bad fan fiction for liberals. Guns are...
No. It's a reality that no normal person is a fan of. It's not fan fiction for liberals. I'll give you an example of fan fiction. When the Proud Boys show up to a school board meeting and start attacking mothers. And then Tim Pool, that's a reality. Fan fiction is when Tim Pool claims that those aren't Proud Boys, those are just concerned fathers. And that's what happened in Glendale, California, obviously. They were having a school board meeting over whether or not to recognize Pride Month. Proud Boys showed up and started beating on people, including mothers. And Tim Pool decided to lie about it. Because Tim Pool is a liar. Here's another example of fan fiction. Go woke, go broke. You know, I just found out that Avatar 2 was called Woke. And that thing made like $2.5 billion. But Tim Pool really wants this go woke, go broke thing to work. He's banking on Bud Light going under. Or Anheuser-Busch, the producer of Bud Light, to go under. But here's the thing about Bud Light. Nobody actually buys Bud Light. Nobody really has ever bought Bud Light. Bud Light's one of those beers that just appears there out of nowhere. Bud Light will be like on sale for like $2 a can at a bar on a Tuesday night. Or if you go to a house party and there's a bunch of bands there, and there's also a bunch of tubs of beer on ice, and the beer is usually Milwaukee's Best and Bud Light. Bud Light's like in the fridge at some guy's apartment at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know? You open up the fridge and there's some Bud Light. It's the only beer in there. Nobody knows where it came from, but they do know that somebody in that apartment has cocaine, and that's why you're there. You can't boycott something that no one actually buys. And here's another thing Tim doesn't realize. Keg parties happen in very expensive colleges all across the country. And the cheapest beers that you can buy to fill those kegs, Natural Light and Busch. Both produced by Anheuser-Busch. As long as college is expensive, kids will continue to buy kegs filled with cheap beer. Tim doesn't recognize this because Tim never gets invited to parties.
They're bad. See, that's why they want guns.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Elliot Page?
Yeah.
Formerly Ellen Page?
Have you ever seen Juno?
Yeah.
That was the girl from Juno.
Yeah. And she transitioned to
Oh, that's so sad.
Elliot about...
Now, I can't tell if this particular lady is saying that it's sad that someone threatened violence against Elliot Page, or if it's sad that Elliot Page exists.